In 1863, the Foreign Legion, an elite corps of the French army, was fighting for control of Mexico. One day in April, a small infantry patrol numbering just 65 legionnaires was marching across the desert, bound for a town 22 miles away. They had stopped to enjoy their morning coffee in the shade of an abandoned farmhouse when a large force of Mexican infantry and cavalry appeared. Though the legionnaires' salvos halted the initial Mexican charge, the French were cornered and badly outnumbered. Escape across the exposed desert was hopeless. The farmhouse, dilapidated though it was, at least offered stone walls for protection. As reinforcements arrived, the Mexican ranks swelled to 3,300 soldiers, outnumbering the French 50-1. Reveling in his luck at having caught the enemy in so perilous a position, the Mexican commander magnanimously offered to accept the legionnaires' surrender.
"You will be needlessly slaughtered,"
he warned.
"We have plenty of ammunition and shall continue to fight,"
replied the legionnaire commander. At that, the Mexicans launched a full-scale assault on the farmhouse, breaching walls and setting fire to the roof. Though the attack was repelled with heavy Mexican losses, the legionnaire commander was shot in the chest and died. His first lieutenant assumed command, vowing to fight to the end. As the hours dragged on, casualties mounted on both sides. By the early afternoon, only 32 legionnaires, half of the original force, could still bear arms. Under the blazing sun, thirst, heat exhaustion, and sunstroke became acute. Again, the Mexicans pushed for a surrender, and again the legionnaires held firm. The onslaught continued. An estimated 200 Mexican soldiers were killed, with an additional 300 wounded. Finally, in the early evening, with ammunition exhausted, the last of the legionnaires, numbering only 5, fixed bayonets and charged. 2 men were mortally wounded in the Mexican volley, including one who had leapt in front of his officer in an effort to protect him. The 3 who remained standing were quickly surrounded. When asked to surrender, the French corporal, the highest-ranking legionnaire still on his feet, replied that he and his men would surrender only if they were permitted to keep their rifles and if medical care were provided to their wounded officer. The Mexican commander agreed, saying,
"Nothing can be refused to men like you."
Later that day, when the prisoners were brought before the Mexican general, he asked,
"Is this all of them? Is this all of the men who are left?"
When he was informed that all their comrades had perished, the general exclaimed,
"These are not men. These are demons."
The battle is known as
Camerone.